to talk about all of this further and what we can expect in the coming months with regard to the economy is the president of Taxpayers Protection Alliance, David Williams. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. And there's a lot happening in the House and the Senate when it comes to spending. But let's start with the job numbers. I mean, this is some good news. We saw a lot of jobs that were added in February, a short month. So that's the good news. We saw 6.2% unemployment. And what that shows us is that before this pandemic hit, the economy was fundamentally strong, and that didn't happen by accident. That happened through tax reform, through regulatory reform. So we're seeing this recovery. Hopefully, it keeps on going.
And I was going to ask, what does this say about our economy with regard to the COVID-19 pandemic? Could we expect that pandemic to subside? When can we get back to pre-pandemic levels?
Yeah, so this says a lot about the economy. And, when you look at 6.2% unemployment, it pales in comparison to the 3.5% before the pandemic. And that's why we have to get this country back open. And when you look at Texas and some of these other states that are opening up completely, I think we're going to see, robust jobs gains in the next coming months. And that's the key, right? It's not going to be the government spending money. It's going to be the private sector spending money. And what Congress needs to do is look at these numbers and realize that if you pass this unemployment extension and a lot of these things, it's going to discourage people from going back to work. So there's a lot working here, a lot going on.
Absolutely. And Americans are anxiously awaiting for more COVID relief as the Senate is set to vote on that $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. But Republican lawmakers have expressed their disappointment, saying many of the measures included in this package are part of a Democrat wish list. Are you confident that this relief package will help resuscitate the economy even more?
Oh, absolutely not. I have zero confidence in this relief bill for a number of reasons. And the one that you just mentioned is that there's money going for the National Endowment for the Arts. That has nothing to do with the pandemic. That has nothing to do with relief. That's just a giveaway to this agency. And what a lot of people don't realize is there's still $1 trillion from last year that was appropriated that hasn't been spent. Congress appropriated $63 billion for education. Only $4 billion of that has been sent. So what Congress needs to do is pump the brakes, spend the money that's already been appropriated, and just get rid of this bill wholesale. I mean, they don't need this $1.9 trillion. We don't need this relief bill right now.
And you've become an expert in finding and exposing government waste. What other provisions have you seen in other COVID relief bills? And like you pointed out, some in these that are important to point out.
So the first problem is you start with such a big number, right? $1.9 trillion. So it's easy to stuff things in here, whether it's $200 million for an agency, for transportation projects, for green energy. And we saw this attempt last year, to bail out the post office. They wanted to have upwards of 10, 15, $20 billion to bail out the post office. Listen, the post office was struggling way before the pandemic. I mean, so, a lot of these things, as you said, are on the Democrats' wish list, and that's why there needs to be amendments to get this stuff out. And if Congress really wants to help people, encourage these states to open up again and encourage, more vaccinations, get the vaccines out there. That's what's going to get us back, and not Congress. But Congress, they love photo ops, they love press releases, and they love spending taxpayer money. So that's why we are where we are right now.
And this week, we heard the governors of Mississippi and Texas saying that they're open for business. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Lastly, I want to ask you, where can our viewers go to learn more about you and your organization?
We're at protectingtaxpayers.org. And I encourage people, if you don't like what's happening in the Senate or the House, call your member of Congress. Get your voice heard, because a lot of money is going to be spent in the next week, and it's your money.
Exactly right. David Williams, again, the president of Taxpayers Protection Alliance. Thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you.